What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Batter's Eye. We just got me and Nate on, and we are going to be doing a little bit of a different episode. This is going to be our mock draft 2.0 for the 2025 mock. And we are going to do it like Baseball America does it. It's a pretty good idea what they do. We start off alternating. I will have the first pick of the draft, and I'm on the clock as we start, and Nate has pick two, and we alternate. And we'll finish out the top 27 picks. We'll give a little bit of reasoning, but we're not going to go too in depth. We don't want to make this like a 2 hour long episode, but we'll put some reasoning behind all of our picks. So without further ado, I think I'm on the clock. And Nats have the first pick, right?
hmm
So number one, I'm between two guys, but I'm going Seth Hernandez, the right-handed pitcher out of Corona. I think he is a generational type of prep pitcher with four pitches that are going to work at the next level for him, three that are already, average to above average level. His fastball can hit 100 miles an hour. The kid does some amazing things on the mound and is truly, generational, as some of these guys are saying. So, they want to give him that tab. I think he gets that tab. Seth Hernandez out of Corona is my number one pick.
I like it. All right, so number two, the Angels. I'm gonna keep it with the fast track thing. I'm gonna go Jamie Arnold out of Florida State, left-handed pitcher. I feel like it's a no-brainer. They want someone that can get up sooner than later. They want someone that they can maybe even call up that year that they draft them. So, and I think Jamie Arnold is probably that guy in the whole draft. He's probably the most MLB ready out of all the bats, out of all the pitchers, out of everyone. So I feel like they're gonna take Jamie Arnold and trust him, and I feel like he's gonna do perfectly fine.
So at three, I think Seattle picks here, right?
Yep.
They're in an interesting spot because I feel like they often take prep. I feel like last year they took
Top Pete.
last year, no, Ty Pete was 2 years ago. They've been taking prep recently a lot. I think this year they switch it up, and I'm between either Jaslav Ilett in the outfield, who has been heating up recently, and I think, he's really in discussion for this pick. But also, you know, I think the Mariners really need a shortstop right now, and that's the biggest issue. And Ivar Arquette sitting there on the board out of Oregon State. It's hard for me to pass up on him right now for the Mariners. I think he is one of the most well-rounded players in this class. You've seen what he's doing. I mean, he's hit some balls over 440 feet this year with over 110 mile an hour exit velos. He plays a pretty good shortstop on defense. And he's just having a crazy year. So I've Arquette number three to Seattle in my mock.
Number four, Colorado. I'm gonna go with Ethan Holiday. I feel like it's a no-brainer here. If Ethan Holiday even falls to four, I feel like it's a no-brainer for the Rockies. The family ties there, and Ethan Holiday is arguably the best high school player we've seen in a long time. So I feel like Ethan Holiday, no-brainer right there for the Rockies.
Um, yeah, I mean, I like it. I really do like it. I think that's a good pick. I'm gonna write that down. Sorry. So at five, who picks here? I think it's
The Cardinals.
Cardinals. Last year they took JJ Weatherholt, and I think this is a perfect spot for them to either take Jaslav Ilett or go pitching, where I have them going with Tyler Bremner out of UC Santa Barbara. He's been one of the best arms this year, and again, just going to UC Santa Barbara gets him, not talked about as much as some of the other premier arms in this class. And he has an elite changeup, an elite fastball, and great command. He was great with Team USA. He was great on the Cape. He is getting, a lot of attention, rightfully so, and I think he goes here to the Cardinals at number five.
Who'd you pick? You picked Tyler Bremner.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was gonna pick for six to help Paul Skeens, but okay. With my number six pick, I'm gonna take Billy Carlson out of California. He's also arguably the best high school player. He's a big riser. He's been rising in the mock drafts. I've seen him go as high as the first pick in the draft. I feel like the Pirates, they took Connor Griffin last year. They moved it. He's going to be in the outfield, even though he has played shortstop his whole life. But he's going to be in the outfield. So I feel like taking another prep shortstop that is really arguably, in my opinion, the best player in the country for well, best
One
high
of,
school player in the country. That's
yeah.
not a pitcher. That's not Seth Hernandez, in my opinion. So I feel like they're going to take Billy Carlson out of California.
Yeah. I like the pick there. I think the Pirates, get their guy at shortstop, like you said. Connor Griffin, great pick, but yeah, he's been doing good in the outfield and he is raking. I could hot take on him. He might be up in the majors this year if the Pirates need a playoff push. Um, and speaking of homers, Aaron Judge just destroyed a home run. Let's go. Who picks at seven?
The Marlins.
So the Marlins at seven. Honestly, it's best player available here. And I'm between two prep bats. And I think I'm going to go with Eli Willits, another guy who recently has been surging in draft boards. He is tabbed as one of the most well-rounded players in this prep class, and he is super young. He's only 17 years old. He reclassed. And he is still really, really good. He's one of the best players in this class. Physically, he fills out. He's not, undersized. He's not lacking there, like one of the younger guys may. And he has all the tools of that he may need to be one of the best players, both on the defensive side of things and with the bat. So great contact, great bat to ball, and great, instincts in the field. Eli Willits here, number seven in the Marlins for me.
Okay. Eight Blue Jays. With the Blue Jays, I'm gonna take Casey Cunningham, another prep bat out of Texas. I feel like Casey Cunningham, he's probably gonna make. He's a shortstop, but I think he's gonna make the switch to second base. He's a little tinier to be a shortstop. I feel like, but I feel like he has the best bat to ball skills I've seen in a long time. He doesn't strike out often. He walks more than he strikes out. So I feel like this is a no-brainer for the Blue Jays. Like you said, taking the best available, and I think he's the best available right now.
Um, That's an interesting pick. I like your reasoning for it. I don't know, just because having Arjun Damala there, having, some of the guys that they've recently taken, I don't know if that's the route they go. I honestly I thought you were going Jaslav Ilet there. And who picks at nine? I think it's the Reds, right?
Reds.
Which, yeah. Um, that opens me up to take Jaslav Ilet here to the Reds. And he's going to be hitting in Great American Ballpark, which is a boombox of a ballpark. Ian playing in an electric lineup at the LA. I mean, the power in that lineup. The Reds have a fun future ahead of them with Chase Burns, with Brett Lauder. Um, I think Jace Ilett, if he falls this far, the Reds are thanking every team that passed up on him and are putting the pick in. Jace Ilett out of Texas A&M going to Cincinnati.
So the White Sox. Who the White Sox picked last year?
Uh, what
Hagen Smith, right?
they picked Hagen Smith with the fifth pick last.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna go Marik Houston out of Wake Forest. I think Marik Houston's the best shortstop coming out. I think he's the best college bat and not bat, but best all around college player coming out the draft. Not that's
Um,
not a pick, obviously. I'm really high on him. I think he can go as high as a top three pick if we're being honest. I think he has amazing bat to ball skills. He has power. He's 20, 25 home runs a year, maybe 20, 25 stolen bags too. And I think he's the best fielding shortstop in the whole draft. Actually, best fielding infielder in the whole draft. So I feel like at 10, if he's there, I feel like that's the pick that needs to be made for the White Sox.
yeah. 11. Who picks at 11?
The Athletics.
So the Athletics are in an interesting position because they're kind of at a point in their rebuild where they're like a decent team.
They're not even bad, yeah.
Yeah, they're not that bad. They've made some really, really good picks. Obviously, Nick Kurtz already up in the majors. Jacob
Mhm.
Wilson
They're
already.
trying to get. I think they're trying to get people up sooner than later.
I don't even think it's that. Their players just balled out in the minors. They made great picks, and their players. I mean, they are taking a lot of players that are very pro ready, and I think they continue the trend here, going pitching, and I think they go Kyson Witherspoon here out of Oklahoma. Um, I know
Mhm.
it's not the most heard of SEC arm so far this year, but I think he might be the most pro ready out of all the SEC arms. He has an elite mix of pitches. He has great intelligence of when to use and when to throw what pitches, and he works his way through lineups multiple times. He's a guy that battles. One of my favorite pitchers to watch every Friday in the SEC. So that being said, he is he's my pick here to the Athletics out of Oklahoma. I have them going Kyson Witherspoon.
Okay, then Rangers on the clock. Rangers last 5 years they've taken a college player every time, and I don't see them switching anything. I think they're gonna take Cam Cannarella out of Clemson outfielder. I feel like he's past 2 years he's been a number one pick. People have mocked him at the number one pick. So I feel like if he even falls this far, which I've seen him falling far on mock drafts. I feel like it's a no-brainer for the Rangers to take him. I feel like they can also track him pretty fast to the MLB. He's probably the most exciting player in college baseball to watch, in my opinion. He brings a lot of effort, attitude. He's fun to watch. He gives it his all, and I feel like this you can't go wrong with Cam Kennerell at 12.
Yeah, great defensive center fielder too. Good bat the ball skills. I don't know. He has been slipping. I think it's more the size and the power, the lack of it. The injury concerns as well, which I mean, look, Cam is one of our guys, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I think he's a dog. Getting him there at 12 is a great pick. At 13, we have who's picking at 13?
Giants.
San Francisco. Last year they took James Tibbs out of Florida. They need some pitching because Bryce Eldridge, who they took as a two-way, is now first baseman. Their pitching prospects haven't been as amazing as they've hoped so far coming up. And I think this is where either, they could take either one of Liam Doyle or Kate Anderson. But this is where first I have Liam Doyle coming off the board. He's been amazing all year. Not much else I can say about it. The stats speak for themselves. I mean, he has a 2.25 ERA. I think he has double the amount of strikeouts that he has innings pitched. Highest K per nines in the nation right now as a starter. He is, the best pitcher in the SEC flat out. And so with that, I have him going here to San Francisco.
I like that pick. Okay, so the Rays. The Rays are going to want someone. They do it. I actually read something about a week ago. They want someone with high offensive upside. And I was thinking to myself for a second, I think they're going to take Gavin Feen, third baseman out of California. I think he has the most raw power out of the high school level coming into the draft. I think it's no question about it. He's a 30, 35 home run. He could be a 30, 35 home run player a year. He's big. He's big. He's a big guy, 6'4", 200. So I feel like the Rays don't want to, they won't want to miss something like this. And I feel like he could really do something for them. So I feel like Gavin Feen's a big here for 14.
Yeah, I really do like that. I don't know why, he's slid a little bit on some of these like big boards and something. And for me, I don't know why. I mean, he's shown that he has really, really good bat to ball skills and his power is elite. He has a good arm. He's, able to stick at third base in the field. Um, I just, I could see him going in the top seven, honestly.
Mhm.
I thought of putting
I
him
was going to pick him for the Pirates instead of Billy, but I picked Billy.
and I was gonna pick him for the Marlins instead of Eli Willits as well.
Mhm.
So Gavin is someone who I think could go as high as 5 or 6, and I don't think falls below 15. Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
picking at 15, who do we have?
The Red Sox.
Red Sox at 15. They traded their first round pick last year already. Braden Montgomery is now on the White Sox in their system. Um, there's a couple of guys I think the Red Sox could pick here, but I'm gonna go Cruz Schoolcraft here. I think they've gone college recently and they have such a loaded team. They have a ton of prospects that are already, near the level of coming up. I don't think they're in a rush to take another college guy and have him blocked or be in a position kind of similar to where the Orioles are at. Though it's a great position, you could see the Orioles are kind of struggling. They're in a bit of purgatory and they have a ton of guys that are fizzling out in AAA and in their minors that could be playing on other major league teams. And I don't think the Red Sox want that issue, especially seeing that in the division. I think they make a prep choice, draft someone that they can develop, and they take the two-way player, Cruz Schoolcraft here.
Okay. I got the Twins. Twins, they need a bat. They don't have they need people that can hit the ball. They struggle in that department really, really bad. They need an outfielder that can hit the ball. And when I think of that, I think of Brendan Summerhill. So I'm gonna take Brendan Summerhill with the Twins for the 16th pick. I feel like you probably know more about him than I do. So I think he's bought bat to ball skills is really good. He's just coming off an injury, but he came back from an injury and he's already shining like he never left. So I feel like Brendan Summerhill will be a great pick right here. I feel like you could track him pretty fast too.
Um, that's so unfortunate that you picked him 16 to the Twins because if you didn't pick him, I was giving him his hometown Chicago Cubs, drafting Brendan Summerhill at
Yeah.
17. I know, obviously, hey, I know he's wanted that. If that happens, hometown hero would love that, but he's gone. So now I reroute and I go the route of Gavin Kylan. I think if he's this far down the board, they can't pass on him. They need some more bats. Matt Shaw hasn't looked great. Some of their other guys haven't looked amazing. Gavin Kylan could potentially go to first base if you need him there. But he's a second baseman right now. He's playing great there. He's hitting well. Coming back from his hamstring injury, he's been raking as well for Tennessee, and he's been one of the best hitters in the country all year long. If he gets down to 17, I think the Cubs are grateful and they grab him here.
Okay. Who did I got the Diamondbacks with the 18th. Who they picked last year? I can't think.
Slade Caldwell, I think, prep outfielder.
Yeah, it's kind of hard pick. I feel like.
It is a hard pick.
Hmm. I'm probably gonna go. I'm probably gonna go Liam Doyle,
I already
left-hand pitcher.
took him. I already took
You
him.
already took him?
I took him to San Fran.
When did you take him?
13, 13.
Okay, never mind then.
I
I
took him
could
to,
go Heath Anderson, but I don't. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Luke Stevenson, catcher out of North Carolina. I think Luke Stevenson could arguably be the best catcher in the draft. He's a draft eligible sophomore. So last year for the Tar Heels, he was the key piece of getting him to Omaha. So and he didn't
damn.
lose in the whole draft.
Hold
If we're
up,
being,
hold up. You cut out after you said key piece to Omaha.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I said key piece to Omaha, and he hasn't let up this year. He has some of the highest exit views in the country. So I feel like if he's still available at 18, which I think he will be, I think the Diamondbacks couldn't go wrong with drafting Luke Stevenson, getting them a catcher.
Yeah. Um, who picks 19?
The Orioles. The Orioles have won the drafts in the past couple of years, in
The
my opinion.
Orioles, yeah, the Orioles have won the draft in the past couple years. But things get a little interesting here because the Orioles have the Orioles have one clear need and it's pitching. Um, and I guess you fix that here by taking Cade Anderson, number 19 to Baltimore. I have Cade Anderson going. I think arguably his stuff alone is the best in the country. He's shown that time and time again. From the left-hand side, he's flashing near, I mean, upper 90s. He has a really good set. He has some really good secondaries. He's shown good command. He's shown the ability to battle, through tough situations, through games, get out of it. And so I think the Orioles, who clearly desperately need more pitching, take the best college pitcher left on the board. Probably best overall pitcher left on the board as well.
Yeah, the Brewers. The Brewers are tricky. See, they need pitching, but they also need hitting. So I feel like it's one of them situations where you also take the best available. And I think that's Sean Gamble, outfielder from IMG Academy. I think he has a lot of raw power. I think he will stick in the corner outfield. He won't move anywhere. He's a pretty big dude. So I think he has a lot of upside too. I think when I look at him, I look at Max Clark, to be honest. I think he's like a new Max Clark, and I feel like if he
He has a
falls this
little
far,
more power.
you can't.
I think he has a
What
lot
is
more
it?
power than Max, but yeah, I see the comparisons.
Yeah, I feel like you can't go wrong by picking him with 20.
Yeah, at 21, who's picking at 21?
Astros.
So the Astros kind of need best hitter available, and I'm between two prep guys. One has fallen a little bit, and one is a huge riser. And I'm gonna go with the huge riser here.
I think I know who you're picking.
I'm gonna take Steele Hall.
Never mind.
I'm gonna take Steele Hall. He reclassified in November. He's 17, and he's going to be 17 through the draft. He doesn't turn 17 until July 24th. He doesn't turn 18 until July 24th. Sorry, Tennessee commit. He is one of the fastest and one of the best defensive players in the entire draft, and his bat to ball skills is above average. And his poise at the plate for someone so young, so advanced. And so I think the Astros here with Jeremy Pena not looking good, with their hitting just outside of Yordan Alvarez not being the best, I think they look to take best hitter available, and they're looking for someone for the future after trading Kyle Tucker and Steele here. The 17-year-old is the pick for me.
So 22 of the Braves. When I think of the Braves, I think they need starting pitching. Their starting pitching is falling apart. They don't have a true guy that's like just ready every fifth day. So when I think of that, I'm thinking of Riley Quick, Jack Bauer, but I'm gonna pick Riley Quick because I think they're gonna need someone to fast track, and I feel like Jack Bauer, you're not gonna be able to just fast track. So I feel like Riley Quick at 22 with the Braves makes sense. I was also thinking Patrick Forbes, but Patrick Forbes hasn't been like that really this year. So Riley Quick, he's in SEC play, the hardest conference. So I feel like you can't go wrong picking him at 22, and I'm fast tracking him and getting him up there.
And
So
since you're a hater, I'll explain that pick a little further and break it down a little more. I mean, he has touched 99 multiple times this year, coming off of Tommy John. He is still ramping back up and has a 60 grade slider, and at least according to me, 55 grade according to Pipeline. A great changeup as well. Good command. You know, obviously, haven't seen as much of him as other guys. Came out of the bullpen a little bit as a freshman. Had Tommy John last year, so I understand he is not seen as much time as some of these other prospects, but he is just as good as them, if not, on that more elite level. He's up there with he's right outside that tier one of pitchers in this draft class, in my opinion. He's in the very top of that second tier of elite pitchers in this draft class. 23. Who's picking there?
the Royals,
Royals last year they took Cags, and I mean, I think that alone wins them the draft. He was my favorite player out of the draft. I thought he could have went one. But this year, I think they back that up with Ike Irish. They take another outfielder to solidify their future, and another one of the situations where it's kind of like best player available here. He has been on fire in conference play for Auburn, leading the conference in home runs. One of the best players, batting average wise. He could win SEC Player of the Year. He's on a very short list of players that could do that so far.
Detroit. Detroit took what's his name?
Took Bryce Rayner last year.
Bryce Rayner last year. So I think they've been picking recently. They've been doing high school players.
He won a lot of prep recently.
I think they're gonna go someone that's ready to, get up there. They haven't had a guy get up there recently besides Jackson Jobe. I think they take Andrew Fisher, first baseman out of Tennessee. I think his raw power is incredible. He has 16, 17 home runs already. I got to see him play in person. I was lucky enough to see him play in person, and he rakes. He rakes. And people, yeah, he rakes. That's literally all it is. He like 60, 65 raw power. I don't know what we had him at, but that's what I would think he would be at.
Yeah.
I
Um,
think I think him at 24 to the what's it
Tiger.
called? The Tigers will be perfect. Get him up there pretty fast sooner than later. So I
Yeah.
feel like Mr.
And
Raiders.
if Spencer Torkelson works out at first base, then Fisher can DH, Torque can DH. One of them can move. If Fisher can move to third. I mean, a lot of versatility there. Good pick. He was uh he was going to be my pick to the Guardians if he was still there at 27. But who do you have at 25? Who's picking?
The Padres.
Padres at 25. Another potential spot for him was there. I think we had him there in our first mock.
We did.
Um, yeah, I think that's where I put him there. The Padres are interesting. Last year they went with Cash Mayfield. Um, it's I want to go. You know what? I want to go there, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go Quentin Young here. And I'm going to stick him in, keep him in California. He has fallen a little bit from our first mock. Um, I still think he's a great player, regardless of whatever swing and miss concerns that people say he has. Yes, he is a massive power player. He has some of the best raw power in this entire class, regardless of he's a high school or a college player. He has hit some of the most insane home runs I've seen. The only thing is he has swung and missed quite a bit, which I understand it comes with those kind of players. Those are more project type of players.
Mhm.
But the Padres, who have done that quite well, they've developed Fernando Tatis, whose biggest concern was the swing and miss stuff, and they've kept it down with Manny Machado in his time with the organization. I think they jump all over Quentin Young still being available at 25.
At 26, 26. I'm surprised this dude has fell this far. He's been talked about top 10 pick for since his freshman year. 26, I'm gonna go Ethan Petrie, outfielder from South Carolina.
He just got hurt though. He's missing the rest of the season, AC joint. I don't know if he even declares.
He, I knew he got hurt. I didn't know he was missing the rest of the year.
Yeah, he just got announced that he's missing the rest of the year,
Like today?
like yesterday. I
Okay.
kept it, but you were
I know, I didn't think he was missing the rest of the year.
low key. I was gonna say low key redo that post because he might come back to college because he's getting a surgery on his AC joint. It's shoulder surgery, and he's like six plus months out.
Okay, then I'm gonna go Raheem Malloy from Arkansas. I feel like he's been hot.
Just honestly, just introduce it like so. I'm gonna edit it. Just go like at 26. I'm gonna go
How do you say his name? Isn't it? How do you say his name?
Wahiwa,
What? Wahima?
Wahiwa.
Wahiwa.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 26, I'm gonna take Wahia Aloy. The Phillies, they need someone they can get up fast because the Phillies are in need of what's it called, an infielder. So Trey Turner at shortstop. I think you can move Trey Turner to second base. I think he will find success there pretty fast. And I think you could put Wahia Aloy there at 26, and I think he's probably been the most underrated player all year. He's raking for Arkansas, him and his brother. So I feel like yeah, at 26 that makes sense for me.
Yeah. I like it. Ibu Aloy has been another one of those players that's on the short list for SEC Player of the Year, and he is, yeah, he's elite. Um, at 27,
Yeah.
now I look. I personally haven't seen as much film as I would like to have seen on this player yet. He is a player that has come out of nowhere and had a meteoric rise this year, and I am taking the flamethrower high school Jack Bauer, 27 to the Guardians. Uh, I just saw on the list today that MLB Pipeline came out. He has an 80 grade they gave him an 80 grade fastball, which completely reasonable. He throws 103. But yeah, that's the only 80 grade fastball in this class, and easily the only 80 grade fastball in this class. We haven't seen a high schooler throw this hard ever,
Yeah,
and
I
I
know.
think
Sounds
it's
great.
going to intrigue. I mean, look, I'm gonna say this as an analyst. I don't know enough about Jack as a player that I would like to. But doing this mock draft, if he's available here with the last pick of the first round, I think a team takes a chance on him. And I think a team like the Guardians, who has notoriously good pitching development, has done a lot of good things with great pitchers. I think the Guardians would jump all over Jack Bauer here.
So at 28, the Kansas City Royals back on the clock. I don't think they're gonna take left-handed pitcher Cameron Appenzeller. He fell to 28. We completely forgot about him. I
No,
think
I mean we didn't really forget about him. I just don't know. A lot of teams, I think in this draft are very. I mean, I guess honestly, I think if Cruz Schoolcraft's injury, if he's hurt and teams are concerned about that, then I think that's a spot that Cam Appenzeller can go into with the
I think
Red
Cam
Sox.
goes before Jack Bauer. I feel like Cam's proven himself a lot more. He's been on the radar for a long, long, long time compared to Jack Bauer, and I think you can Kansas City Royals are gonna pick him. I think they need an arm because Jack's not pitching. People thought they're gonna get two players out of one, so Jack's not pitching. I think they go back to the arm Cameron Appenzeller. I can't go wrong with that pick.
Yeah, I am. I guess I am a little shocked that he lasted that long. Um, it is what it is. It happens. Some guys slide. Didn't necessarily intend for it. At 29, who do we have there picking?
29, the Dimebacks.
So the Diamondbacks are back on the clock. Um, at 18, you have them taking Luke Stevenson. I think here I'm gonna have them taking JoJo Parker, the shortstop out of Mississippi. I think he is. He's committed to shortstop out of Mississippi, committed to Mississippi State. I think he is another one of those risers, but he has been at the top of the prep class for a while. He's rising up mock drafts now. People have seen the bat to ball skills come to life, and he's good in the field. He has a really strong arm, can maybe move over to third base. Um, has a good frame, 6'2", 200 pounds, good power for the position as well. So Joseph Parker there at 29 to the Diamondbacks.
Okay, at 30. The 30, the Baltimore Orioles are back on the clock. Who did you give them picking last time?
The Baltimore Orioles at 19 went Cade Anderson.
Okay, Kate Anderson. I like that. So at 30, I'm gonna put Grant J, catcher out of DBU. Grant J's probably been, in my opinion, the biggest riser this year in the college circuit. He was flat out rakes. That's one thing you get to know about him. He rakes. He's not much of a catch fielder. I think he might make this transition to first base when he gets up there. But he rakes. He's a 35, 40 home run dude a year, probably. He has like the third most home runs this year out of the whole college baseball. I think he can't go wrong with the Grant J pick here.
Yeah. Who picks at 31?
The Orioles.
Orioles again. Wow. Orioles back on the clock. Back-to-back picks. It's interesting. I want to go. I don't know if they do this. I guess
You
maybe
can't go wrong with anything.
I think this guy could switch and play second base in the future, and he is arguably the best player in college baseball this year. I'm gonna go Alex Lodice out of Florida State. He is another one of the biggest risers. Him and his cousin Kyle, who I don't think we will be talking about today, though we'll definitely be talking about in future mock drafts. Um, Alex, however, is hitting over 400, is close to leading the nation in home runs. He's shown off a lot of power, and he showed off a really unique and aggressive approach at the plate where he's swinging at over 55% of pitches and making contact with quite a bit of them. He doesn't swing and miss on many pitches other than the slider, and even recently, he's been cleaning that up. So, Alex Lodice, one of my biggest risers, have him going 31 to the Baltimore Orioles.
32 Milwaukee Brewers. Who did we get them last time?
Milwaukee Brewers, I don't know where they picked last time. If
I'm
they
saying, who did we pick?
They picked at 20, so we had them going Sean Gamble.
Yeah, I think they're going college route. I think they go Jared Jones, first baseman out of LSU. He's everyone's first baseman, the best first baseman in the country. He's everyone's. If you go just look at D1 baseball, Baseball America, he's the number one guy. Only thing about him is he's just not a fielder. He's just really a DH. He just hits the ball. He has the opportunity to 40, 45 home runs a year. The power honestly could be up to 70. I don't know what we had him at. But I like I said, I got to watch him a couple times this year. He flat out rakes. Pitchers don't want to pitch to him. It's easy power, easy power. Nothing too crazy. It's literally just easy power. So I think you can't go wrong picking him with 32 the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. At 33 to the Boston Red Sox, I have been going Caden Bodine, catcher out of Coastal.
Mhm.
He is, uh, well, Luke is very athletic. He could end up playing outfield depending on the situation. I think Caden is the first true catcher, and no doubt that he is going to switch. There is no question that he will be a catcher in the next level.
Mhm.
And he is amazing. He has done great things, showing off a lot of power at Coastal during his time there. He's been great behind the plate as well. He shows off pretty good blocking, good reaction. A lot to like about the player here. And the Red Sox, after trading away Kyle Teal in that trade to the White Sox, get another catcher in Caden Bodine here.
Okay. So I'm trying to think. I'm trying to remember who did we get? Who did we pick?
We had the
The,
Detroit
who,
Tigers. They took Andrew Fisher.
yeah, yeah. Oh, who did they pick? Andrew Fisher?
Yeah.
The Red Sox?
No, the Tigers.
Okay, you just did Red Sox, right?
I did the Red Sox. Caden
Okay.
Bodine.
Detroit Tigers. If I'm thinking of Detroit, they don't need pitching. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Ryan Weidman out of WKU. He's right. He's been on a rise of lately. His basketball skills is you can make an argument it's the best in the country. He's in my opinion one of the best defenders in the country up there with Cam Cannarella. You can stick him in center field long term. He'll find success. So I feel like Ethan Wyman. I feel like that's the pick to be made here at 34.
I now have to make sure that that's who we went with them. Yeah, 24, the Tigers went Andrew Fisher. So, all right, at 35, we have on the clock the Mariners once again at 3. I had them going Ivar Arquette. Um, and so I think they bolster out their outfield this pick with Slater DeBrun, keeping close to home. He is one of my favorite players in this class. Has elite running school tools and is great on defense, whether he is in the corners or he'll go to center. I think he might stay in a corner spot. Another younger player, he is turning 18 soon. He'll just barely be 18 during the draft, and he has really good bat to ball skills. Really good, really good running. He has some power for the position. So Slater DeBrun is my pick there for the Mariners, who need another outfielder alongside J. Rod in the corner.
Okay, 36 Minnesota Twins. Who did I get him last time?
Last time the Twins were picking at, I have to see where they picked at. Twins picked at 16, so they got Brendan Summerhill.
Okay, I'm gonna have him picking Zach Root, Arkansas left-handed pitcher. He transferred from ECU. He was the best pitcher arguably in that conference last year. I feel like you can't go wrong with him. He has four great pitches. His changeup is probably what the best pitch in my opinion. Plays off his fastball as good as anyone in the draft, and I think Zach Root. you can't go wrong with Zach Gruden. I feel like moving down the line, I feel like he's gonna be a bullpen arm when he gets closer to the show. I feel like that makes more sense. But I feel like when he gets moved to the bullpen, he will find success immediately there. So
Yeah. At 37 to the Rays, I'm going with another one of our biggest risers, this time out of Oregon, Mason Neville. He's leading the country with 21 home runs. He had another huge weekend. His bat to ball skills have improved. I mean, obviously, he had his first year at Arkansas where he didn't get much time on the field, and he transferred to Oregon and has been a star for them. He's been the reason why their offense has been so great, the catalyst for it, obviously, one of them. And that team is rolling. Part of the reason is because Mason's been playing so well. I think him falling to 37 here, the Rays pick him up and they get a corner outfielder that they can use in their lineup for the next decade.
38, the Mets. I'm taking Patrick Forbes. Patrick Forbes, he's a big pitcher. He's a big guy. He's 6'4", 220. The fastball grades in at 60 for most people, but it's really the slider that turns people's head. Graded at a 60 as well. His slider is probably his go-to strikeout pitch. Just like Zach Greinke, I think he moves down to the bullpen later in his career. I feel like he's not gonna be much of a starter in the next level. So I feel like they get him and they try to develop him, then move him to the bullpen and call him up to the big leagues. I thought that's how that was gonna play out.
Um, that's interesting. That's an interesting evaluation. Also, just taking a bullpen arm in the first round, I think I like it. I like the potential that Forbes and Root both have. I like that approach though. That's interesting. And at 39, well, shit. I mean, as a Yankees fan, I'm super excited about this then because you didn't take Xavier Nans at 38. Xavier Nans is going to be the Yankees' third baseman of the future if he fell this far, and that would make me probably the most excited kid on the planet for a week. I mean, I will be talking about him to anybody that will listen if that ever happened. And right now, all I could say about Xavier Naines is he is one of the five best prep bats in this class, without a doubt. Obviously, he has some swing and miss concerns, being a extreme raw power guy, similarly to Quentin Young. People have the same kind of questions about him, but Naines for third base has some of the best power I've ever seen. I got to see him hit in the futures home run derby or whatever. Um and he launched some of the most ridiculous balls that I've ever seen be launched. Uh and yeah, I mean everything I've seen on him is positive. His hitting has been elite, and I think the Yankees can figure everything else out. Xavier Naines is my pick there at 39.
Okay, so who am I picking? Picking 40 for the Dodgers. They have 40 and 41. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Dean Curley out of Tennessee. I feel like Dean Curley, he has a lot of promise to him. He has a lot of potential, big upside. I feel like the Dodgers, they do really good of developing people. And I feel like they would develop him. I don't know where he'll stick long term, shortstop, third base. He's a big dude, but so I think they go Dean Curley for the Dodgers. I think they can go around there.
Then Dodgers picking again at 41. I mean, this is a match made in heaven. If he gets here, Brady Ebel, uh, he goes there, and he reunites with his father, third base coach for the Dodgers, Dino. Uh, that would be a cool story. Brady, another one of the Corona boys, is he's falling a little bit on some sites. I don't think that's necessarily because anything on his part. I think that's because of the strength of this class, and the depth in this class is really elite. This has turned out, the college season has produced a lot of really good breakout prospects, and this class has ended up becoming one of the most deep and, more quality player heavy filled classes in a while. So I'm really excited about Brady Eagle as one of the players that is going to come out in the early rounds out of prep, and he's going to be another dog.
Okay, I'm picking for 42 for the Rays. Who did I give for the Rays last time?
The Rays have taken so far Mason DeVille and Gavin Feen. I have someone in mind.
I might. I don't know. I'm looking at our big board right now.
I have someone in mind that. We had a
I
little.
have a couple people in mind, but like I don't know.
All right, just pick.
I know. I'm gonna take D Moss.
Okay,
D
that's an interesting pick. I did not. I thought you were gonna go the pitching route. I like it.
I was gonna go. I was either it was either gonna be Dean Moss, Nate Snead, or what's it called, Ben Jacobs.
I thought you were gonna go Landon Harmon.
Yeah, he works out too, actually. But D Moss, he's a future five-tool player. He can run, he can throw, he can hit, he can field. I think what also like you brought up earlier about Xavier, I feel like what's holding him off is his strong commitment to LSU. Also, I feel like if he doesn't go within the first 25, 20 picks, I don't think he will sign. I don't think he'll sign with the team because I think he knows how good he is, how much he's worth. So I feel like he'll go to LSU and develop. Look what it did to Derek Curie and William Smith. Look what they're doing right now. So I mean,
Um, I knew that was gonna come at some point. I was waiting for the LSU player to slide so we can get that speech, get it out the way.
I'm just
Um,
saying, look at Derek Curie.
for the Marlins, well, like I just said, Landon Harmon's available, and the Marlins have taken some of the best prep pitchers in these kind of picks. Thomas White, they did it. Noble Myers, another one of the top prospects, and they've done really well taking prep pitching and not rushing them through the system, letting them get their experience and games in, and they've done pretty well with that. So I'm gonna have them taking Landon Harmon here to round out our full first round CBA competitive balance, all that shit, compensatory picks. 1 through 43, mock draft 2.0. Next mock, we will do, I guess we'll do for a full 3 rounds. Um, we are putting a lot of work on ourselves, but that is picks 1 through 43 are way too early. 2025 mock 2.0. We will probably do 5 before the draft, I'd say, right? Sounds about
Five
right.
what? Mock
5
drafts?
mock drafts.
Yeah.
Sounds about right. 5 mock drafts. Before the draft, and the last one will come out the day before. So you'll see this April 30th. Try and get this out to you guys by Friday, May 2nd. And you guys will see this before the weekend series that weekend. And I got nothing else for you guys. There's a lot of interesting prospects, a lot of good storylines that we covered, a couple guys falling, a couple guys that we forgot from. But, I think there's definitely a lot that we covered in this video, and I think we can definitely provide a good draft class for you guys, a draft breakdown for you guys. So thank you for watching, and that's all I got.